Yes. It is the Castworthy podcast, and we are back. It's Sunday, July 16th. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine, joined by Mr. EJ Stew, the Savage, and the VP. Today, we're here for some banter, some pandering, some He-Man woman hating, a little bit of all of that shall take place today on the Castworthy podcast. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes, and sometimes things that are said are just for entertainment, not meant to hurt anyone's feelings. EJ, what's good with you?
Ain't nothing, man. What's going on, brother?
Ain't shit, man. It's we got a heat wave still going on out here, spending a lot of time in water, skin's kind of dry, ashy and shit because of that. But hot up there too, still.
Yeah, it's muggy, man. It's just nasty, and it's just muggy. It's rain. It's mosquitoes. It's just nasty, man. It's
Maybe
nasty.
maybe they should have listened to Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is.
Yeah, they should listen to her. VP, what's good with you? I see you're up bright and early.
Hello. Good morning.
Something did there. It's Sunday. You get your good political sandwich ready for today, because I'm ready to kill that old bastard with his targeted student loans again. 20 to
Yeah.
25 years. Shit's out of control, man. Man up. Man up. Make something happen.
I think that's what's happening.
Promises made, but not kept. That's what I'm saying. Look, he left because he knows what time it is. About to eat his ass up, pause. To the 100th degree.
Yeah, the student loan thing, man. I mean, if you're gonna make a provision and make this whole backdoor thing as if you're the champion, like, come on, bruh.
Dog, if you've been paying for 20 years or 25 years, you probably only owe about $400 right now. Like, fuck you talking about?
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what are we doing? What are we doing? Why can't we just get this done?
It's for clicks, man. It's for clicks and to say, well, I tried. Meanwhile, out in Iceland or Poland or Finland, sniffing babies again.
I mean, the law exists, so
It didn't when Trump was in office.
that was kind of the point, though.
Man, Trump 2024. I'm with it. Let's go. I'm getting the t-shirts printed, hats. I'm just ready to go. Is it red this time? Is it gonna be red again, or is like the mag is? Well, it's not MAGA, right? It's Take America Back, right?
No,
So
they're still doing MAGA again.
Oh, I thought it was Tab. Maybe
No,
I should start it. Trump Tab Take America Back.
Yeah, they did Make America Great Again in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2020, they basically did the same thing, but they kept MAGA, but then they were saying Keep America Great, even though they still were saying MAGA. And then now they're saying MAGA again because apparently it was great for 4 years, and then now it's fucked up. So we got to make it great again.
Oh, was it great?
According to them, it was. We didn't have all these problems while Trump was in office.
If he does win, what is the likelihood that he would actually ever get rid of student loans?
He wouldn't. He don't care about that shit.
Trump ain't getting rid of that shit.
Trump. This is the thing with Trump, right? And it always just kills me when people will say, oh, this thing I want didn't happen, so therefore Trump, right? And then you have like the Ice Cubes and those kind of guys who talk about, I'm gonna go talk to Trump because he's talking about the black plan or whatever that shit was he was talking about in 2020. Trump is gonna pay lip service to these things and then not do anything about them, right? And to give you the clearest point, right, is in 2016, Trump talked about how, he was going to be like, I don't want to say a champion, but he was going to be a person who was going to protect gay rights, right? And then his administration basically rolled back protections through executive order that rolled back gay rights protections. He installed three anti-choice justices on the Supreme Court who've also continued to roll back gay rights or whatever. You know what I mean? And then this time around, he's being killed for that kind of shit. Ron DeSantis has an ad, a fucking disgusting ad, basically showing Trump as being like some kind of gay rights champion, and therefore Republicans shouldn't vote for him or what. You know what I mean? So because he's too woke, you know. So
What's his? Give me an example of a executive order he signed that rolled back gay rights.
I'll have to look one up.
Then he didn't roll. He didn't roll them back if it wasn't that. Like it clearly wasn't that impactful if you can't remember it off the top. You know what
Yeah,
I can
those
remember?
are-
I remember
but
Biden coming out and saying, "I love you niggas. I love black people, and I'm gonna get you some student loan relief," and not doing it. That's what I remember. Loud and
Not
clear.
only that, I remember him, you know, talking about the George Floyd bill and not getting it done, but then, passing something for Asian Americans, and once again, as blacks, we're left out.
I remember EJ getting a fresh ass haircut. Where you going today? he got a beard again. Oh man, he
Come
outside.
on, man.
You broke up? You broke up?
Nah, brother, I'm good.
Y'all on good terms?
Yeah.
You got the edge up, the fresh sideburns. I know what that means. I was your age once. Nothing. Okay.
so I got you here. Quick Google search. Again, I know we're gonna talk about this shit, so So here's a list of things that Trump did that basically were anti-gay things. Here, number one, his administration opposed the Equality Act. They also appointed anti-LGBTQ judges all across the judiciary from every level of the courts, whether it was the district courts, appeals courts, as well as the Supreme Court. Some of those people include this judge named Kasmarek out of Texas, Matir Bonds, this guy Vitter Menashe, and others, John Ho over in Texas as well at the Fifth
Is
Circuit
that
Court
a
of Appeals.
is that a subjective opinion?
Hmm. Well, these
Is that
people
a,
are issuing rulings that are basically anti-gay rulings. So,
that
you know,
doesn't mean that they're anti-gay people
no
that were
problem.
appointed.
No problem. No, because that's fine, right? That's a fair argument, even though I disagree with it, right? They also submitted briefs to the Supreme Court that were in support of anti-discrimination, or not. When people were trying to get rid of anti-discrimination laws, like in the workplace, they submitted briefs to the Supreme Court, basically saying, "Yeah, we need to get rid of those." Trump also banned transgender service for people in the military. He rolled back Obama-era non-discrimination protections. He issued rules for license discrimination to the Department of Labor. He kicked people living with HIV off of military bases because of their status. Created hostile work environments for LGBTQ federal workers. I can go on, but so yeah,
He kicked people living with HIV off of military bases.
correct.
Hmm. I don't remember that, but there might have been some reason behind it, right?
There's always a reason. Like,
Were they were the numbers spreading on military bases?
have you
Were
heard
they?
about numbers of HIV spreading on military bases?
I didn't. I didn't hear about him doing that. So the same could be said both ways. Nonetheless, the point is, um,
Essentially, what he did here with the HIV thing is they basically issued a policy that was essentially labeled. They didn't call it this, but this is what it became labeled as a deploy or get out. When you have HIV, you can still serve in the military, even though you're HIV positive. You just become your deployment status, you become non-deployable. So the reason for that is that one, you know, they may not have a doctor that can treat you in theater to wherever you're going, be it, Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan, whatever,
mhm.
right? It's the same thing. I know people will say, well, you got fucking HIV. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? If you have braces while you're on active duty, you become non-deployable because they don't have an optometrist or not an optometrist, the braces
Eye
doctor.
braces.
Well, you know what I mean, like the braces doctor. They
Mhm.
don't have that many of them, so you may not have a doctor that does braces in theater. So those people are non-deployable for that time. So they essentially instituted this policy of either deploy or get out, which would basically remove military personnel with HIV from service solely because of their status. You know what I mean? And that's bullshit.
So was that just for HIV or was that for braces also?
No, just for HIV.
Oh, okay. Good.
What would be the medical reasoning behind that? Like
Behind what?
what would be the medical reasoning behind essentially not allowing soldier with HIV
They probably will tell you that, oh, well, you mean like to deploy or just to be in the service period?
to deploy?
To deploy, like I just said, they probably don't.
Because they won't be
Doctors
able to
who will
get
treat it
treatment if they
aren't going
need
to
it.
be in theater. They're not going to be there. You know what I mean? So because I'm pretty sure there are certain kind of doctors that treat people with HIV. So
But I mean
they may not have.
scientifically, if you know that, and there are different things that come with, because we're talking as if folks that have it, like you can, if you're treating it under normal circumstances and you're in comfortable conditions and you have access to everything you need, what I mean, you can live a normal life. But if you're saying I'm deploying you somewhere where you don't have great conditions, if you miss a cocktail or two, or you get in a firefight, you get shot, or whatever happens, you're not a normal functioning person, right?
Right. And when they say non-deployable, right, these people aren't going to go on like they're not going to Iraq or Afghanistan. You know what I mean? If you need them to go out like, on ship for something, like if you need them to like, go and do a tour in Japan or in South
But I mean,
Korea.
wouldn't that be kind of discriminating again? Wouldn't that be kind of purposely not treating them the same as any other other member? When you just specifically
Exactly.
saying we're not gonna put you in a regular place. Like, I mean, I get it, but we acting as if this is like they have something that makes them not normal to the regular soldier, and it has to be considered.
Yeah, but I mean, people that are non-deployable for all kinds of reasons or whatever. It's just that they're targeting them for this specific reason. Like there are groups of people who don't deploy.
Well, so here's the thing, and
That's
I don't want
crazy.
to. I mean, I don't want to beat this horse, pause, and we, this isn't this wasn't on our list today, but I could see HIV being completely different from braces. Braces, once you finish seeing the orthodontist, they're coming off and you're deployable. If
Hmm.
you have HIV, it's not curable. You're never going to be deployable. So from that standpoint, I could see somebody saying, "This person is never going to be deployable. What use are they to us in the military?" I can get that, right? Do I stand by it? I can't say, but I can get somebody saying that versus braces or something else that is curable.
So here's the thing, right? And that your argument makes sense, but it's because you're just thinking of it as like the military, right? And the military's primary focus is to defend the country or go to war or whatever, right? But there are non-combat related jobs in the military. You know what I mean? So what if you have a person who has HIV and they work in admin? They make sure like people's paychecks are good and you get your vacation days are being calculated correctly and shit like that. You don't got to go to Iraq to do that shit. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So that's the point. Is that a lot of these people who when they become positive, and it's not like these are like some huge population of troops, right? But a lot of them, if it happens and they're in some kind of combat role or combat support role, they're usually moved from those jobs and put into those other kind of jobs that aren't like heavily, got some kind of combat focus or support or something like that. If they are like a cook, they obviously gonna take them out of there because you don't want them like messing with food. You can get a cut or something like, you know what I mean? But they're
I
put
got
into roles where they're not really gonna be needed to deploy to begin with. So to go the next step to say we're also going to remove you from service, this shit is just like a kick in the face. It's not like, like the lines at a recruiting stations are wrapped around the building, and they got people just joining like crazy where they can say, yeah, let's get rid of John because let me look at this, you can place him in a heartbeat. So,
One last question before we move on from this. Um, can heterosexual people get HIV?
yes,
Okay. So then we can't say that that bill is targeting homosexuals only then.
very true, right? But we know
We
why.
can't say
We
Trump
know
is
we
anti gay for passing a bill that targets everyone.
okay, but you're focusing on that one thing, right? What about uh um
Ah,
Aha.
aha.
See when I back him into a corner? There you go.
no
There I
problem.
was, surrounded. There were 10 of them. I got him. I got him. I got him.
So
Fox News. Boom. They need to hire me. All right. No, I get it. I get your point. I know what you're saying. I don't think we had Trump on the docket for today anyway. For the most part, it was just a political thing.
I was
Any
gonna talk about him in my political shit.
Oh, well, go ahead, proceed since we're here.
Well,
What is going on other than nothing happening on the Biden front?
well, he's dealing with his court case. He's been indicted in the Southern District of Florida. Him and that guy Waltine Nada. Also, it looks like the special counsel who's also investigating, who's doing the documents case for the classified documents, he's also investigating January 6th. From the tea leaves that we're getting from the courthouse, it seems like they're getting ready to start making some charging decisions on January 6th. These are not people, the special counsel is not investigating the people who went into the Capitol. They're
Mhm.
investigating like the people who organized this shit, the higher echelon folks or whatever. So we should be seeing something that's going to be coming out of that in the next couple of weeks. Uh, they also asked the judge to start the trial in December. Trump filed a brief basically saying no, the trial shouldn't start in December and it should be postponed indefinitely, because he's so busy campaigning and running for office that he don't got time to go to court or whatever. So the government filed their response basically saying there are tons of people who have high profile jobs that are demanding of their time, demand them to travel, and they still go to court. Like this guy should not get any kind of exemption, for going through some kind of job interview process or whatever. Like miss me with that bullshit. So now that's in the judge's hand, and we'll see. Um, we'll see what happens there.
I think that gets pushed out, and I would probably
It's
push it
going
out
to.
as yeah, as a judge, I would push it out. The difference
Oh,
between just a general high profile person is that this is something that the job that he's doing or what he's pursuing has to do with his character, and the charges are an attack on his character, and he hasn't been convicted of them. So him going through that can sway the opinions of people that would generally vote for him. So I could see why they would make that argument to say, "Hey, we need to
well,
wait
I
until
would
after."
I would say that argument is bullshit, right? Because we as the American people who are going to be voters, we probably should have this thing resolved, so we should know if we're voting for a crook or not, right?
Well, would we? Would it be done by then? Because he's campaigning today, right? So immediately he starts campaigning, and that gets into the negativity gets into the news, whether it's true or not. If the trial's not done by then you have to make two decisions there.
Well, the
And
trial isn't going to take long. There's this trial probably will last about a month once it starts. Like court, like when you see like our perception of like how long trials last are from like TV trials, like OJ that took like 9 months or whatever. But if you listen to lawyers when they do like OJ documentary, they tell you this judge was like out of pocket with how he allowed this case to just go crazy. Like normal cases don't take this long. You know what I mean? These cases normally, a murder trial might last 2 weeks, in a normal court or whatever. There's sometimes it might last a month or whatever because this case involves classified documents. They have to move stuff, put them in secure areas for people to look at and all that kind of stuff like that. Security clearances. It might make it add some time, but Most people say this trial would last a month, maybe 6 weeks tops, once it actually starts. The question is, when does it start? And Trump's whole thing is delay, 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 right? So his
So he
co
can pardon himself.
his co-defendant, basically the lawyer submitted a thing saying, oh, I need they supposed to have a hearing next week, I need that delayed because I haven't had time to fill out my application for security clearance so I can look at the documents that my client is being charged with, even though the judge told them to have that shit done already. So you've already violated the judge order, and then saying, hey, the date, the meeting we're supposed to have to talk about how we're going to review these classified documents, I need you to push that back because I haven't followed your other order already. You know what I mean? Like, so they're already starting with the bullshit to try to delay, 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 delay.
I need them to push it back because I would rather Trump be the second option versus DeSantis.
DeSantis is not
And
going to be the second option.
shit, if Trump ass end up getting held accountable, yeah, I think
The thing that people, and EJ will tell you this too, right? He's a political animal like me. People make politics seem easy. All you got to do is do it. As stupid as Trump was, the guy has charisma, right? He knows how to speak to what people want, how they feel, that kind of thing, like that. Regardless how you feel about Biden, he does the same thing. Obama did that. Clinton did that, right? Ron DeSantis is not a good politician, and he built himself as being a mini Trump. He's awkward on the campaign trail. He People ask him a question in Iowa when he goes to these events, and if it's like something he don't like, he's yelling at the folks. You know, I mean, that's just what voters want. When they say, "Hey, how come you did this thing?" And they say, "Shut the fuck up, you idiot." You know what I mean? Like, that's definitely gonna get my vote. You know, so Sanchez is not the guy. He's too robotic. He's like Rubio when Rubio ran in 2016 and Chris Christie killed him. He has all these rehearsed answers, and that shit sounds good, when you are at these structured events that you put together where you control the environment. Once you get in front of people and they're looking for you to be a little bit more organic, they're looking for you to be that guy, I could have a beer with. You know what I'm saying? That shit don't play.
7 years ago we said the same thing about Trump, and he won. Think
Yeah,
about
but
that.
I know. But did you hear all the stuff that I said before I said about
I,
DeSantis? How I
I,
said Trump?
I did. I
I
did.
literally praised him, which is something I never do.
Yeah, but we were extremely confident that Trump wouldn't. He had no shot in the dark, and that shot became a presidency. So
I mean, I think it's gonna be Trump. I don't think it's gonna be DeSantis. But even if it's not Trump, I don't think DeSantis is the fallback guy.
gotcha. Um. All right. So is that all we got on the political front?
Sure, let's get to it.
I
Jonah
mean,
Hill.
we talked about you talked about Biden. I mean, Steve joked about it, but we didn't really go into it.
He didn't. He didn't want to talk about that. He got
Uh,
all the other political news, but don't want to talk about the student loan.
So they basically signed the order that
What's the
Senator.
specifics to it for
I
people
mean,
that didn't read
but
it?
even let me just ask this too, because even with the 20 to 25 payments, like I don't even because I thought the way that it works. I mean, so I don't know how many would be for 10 years, how many payments that would actually amount
It's like
to.
240. I think it's like 240 payments to
How many
something
years
like
though?
that. Yeah, when I looked at it, when I go 20 to 24, 20 years is
20,
240
20,
payments.
24 years. But I mean, depending on your profession, if you were paying 10 consecutive years, your joint would,
Yeah, you
you know,
probably.
so I don't know, make me call me ungrateful and maybe because it doesn't speak to everybody, but how many of us got, I mean, we would just be reaching 20 to 25 years of payments, statistically speaking on our age. But and that's assuming we started straight after, we finished our education, but a lot of that doesn't apply to the population that needs it currently. You know what I mean? Like
So
it's
under
something. It's something. Let's not argue that. But it just I don't know. It
two,
felt like a empty.
240 or 300 qualifying monthly payments,
so
depending on.
basically under this plan, essentially, what happened is that this plan was for people who were making payments. They were on like some kind of income driven payment plan. And if they made, their payments on time over a given number of years, then the rest of their student loans would be forgiven. Now, because of flaws in the system, like this shit hadn't happened. And so you had people who had filed lawsuits, you had media investigations basically saying, like, yo, what the fuck is going on with this shit or whatever. And what the Biden administration essentially did was they used the student loan forgiveness that they did last year, the one that just got overturned by the Supreme Court, because these people were basically going to get caught in that to say, based on the amount of debt that they have, once we forgive this 10,000 or 20,000, whatever the number was, they're going to have their debt wiped out. So it's going to be all good. The Supreme Court overturns that. And then so the Biden administration comes in and says, hey, we fixed the glitch that was not letting these people have their debt forgiven because they've made their payments. And now that debt is wiped out, equaling about $39 billion for about 800,000 borrowers who fit those very, unique circumstances.
So all they're doing by giving these bullshit tiptoeing policies or passing them or signing them is creating more ability for people to scam. Because someone who doesn't read the shit doesn't know that they're not eligible is going to get the phone call because they say, oh, they'll let you know if you're eligible. They'll call you and let you know if you're eligible, or they'll send you information to let you know if you're eligible. I see a scam in that. Like
Oh,
if I'm a scammer, the first thing I'm doing is getting everybody that I know that has student loans, and I'm calling them, hey, if you we couldn't get it completely wiped away, but send us a payment of $1,000 and we'll clear it to zero.
Well, these folks, for the folks where this stuff is happening, is that one, they're going to be getting an email from the Department of Education notifying them that they are eligible, and the debt is going to be automatically erased. They're not going to have to apply for it.
Yeah, it sounds suspect to me, but we'll see. Another step in the direction of at least doing some, but
Mm-hmm.
not enough, right? It seems like the Biden presidency in general do a little bit, but not enough. What else we got going on, EJ? Mariah Mills is back in the news.
Oh God.
Well,
She's
we got to start with Jonah Hill though,
okay.
because that seems to be the timeline of where these accusations and things of different guys come from. So another person comes out that was dating Jonah Hill at some point, I guess, saying, he takes me to this party, or rather, wasn't dating him. Maybe she goes to this party and says he forced his tongue down her throat.
The important piece is she mentioned that she was 16 years old. Don't forget that, because that's really
That part,
important.
that part too. And so VP said, offline, like, what's wrong with this? And I think, I always give him credit for this. I always say, I've never heard it before he said it. And I think it's probably one of the best things on this subject that I've ever heard. Everyone should be heard, but not everyone should be believed, right? The other problem about that, though, is the accusations and the impact. How does one recover from that? And to simply say, just sue and do this and do that, that's not the answer. Because by the time that any of that is even able to be done, and this thing is even taken seriously, dudes have lost jobs, they've lost money, they've lost public favor. They've done things have happened to them that they can't recover from. And it's very easy as the average citizen who speaks from a point of privilege, who isn't going to have to go through that, i.e. VP, because he's been married for 22 years. He's a Marine. He's lived a good life, all these things. It's real easy to sit back in a chair and just say, well, just sue. Now you have the court of public opinion, slaying you. You got Jonathan Majors, who was accused. Everything happened the way it was supposed to happen, right? But now he's losing endorsements. Now his Marvel career is up in the air. Now when even evidence is brought to light, no one's even apologized. You know what I mean? Like, nothing's happening trending good for this dude, and he's already got to go and climb this uphill battle to restore his life.
What in the
So,
world?
His fan.
so what I would say here is, I think EJ has a point, right? When I would like to separate the Jonathan Majors issue from Jonah Hill, and I'm gonna speak on it in a second here. But
Can
I don't
my
see how you can.
just
I'm
make
gonna
sure
go
at
into
some point you guys talk about exactly what took place, like what she's saying.
Okay, so in the Jonah Hill situation, basically, his ex girlfriend, surfer Sarah Brady, essentially puts out a stream of messages on Instagram, like an Instagram thread or story or something like that, that essentially says that, Jonah Hill was, I guess, mentally abusive to her during their relationship, where he was controlling and, would tell her she couldn't dress a certain way or hang out with certain people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, After that happens, then another actress named
Alexa Nicholas.
Alexis Nicholas, she's from that show Zoe's 101 or 101 or something like
Zoe
that.
101, Nickelodeon, I believe.
Um, she says that she was at a party at somebody else's house that Jonah Hill was at as well. She asked him for a cigarette. He told her she wants a cigarette. She had to come outside. She was like, okay, cool. She followed him outside. He never gave her the cigarette, and then he kissed her, like forcing his tongue in her mouth or whatever. And at the time, she was 16 years old when the alleged contact happened. So that's kind of the context of what we're talking about with the Jonah Hill situation. To EJ's point, right? The problem that I have with this is, I'm for sure, fine. I understand that victims of, sexual assault, abuse, etc. Sometimes they have their own timeline of when they come forward to talk about whatever it is that happened to them. Sometimes it could be a week, it could be a day, it could be years. Who knows, right? But my problem with this, when it's done outside the law enforcement context, is that then this thing gets resolved in the court of public opinion, to where there's nobody to adjudicate this thing. There's no evidence gathered by any, somewhat trustworthy entity that is saying this is what we found in this case, and then we took it to court, and then we proved beyond a reasonable doubt that this person did X, Y, and Z. It's just, this person makes an allegation, everybody kills the person, and then that's just it. You know what I mean? Um, um, and so that's my problem with it. The reason why I say I wanted to separate it from the Jonathan Majors issue is that, because Jonathan Majors issue, whether you think it happened or not, it's happening in that law enforcement context, where this woman essentially went to the police and said he did this. There was some kind of investigation. He's been arrested, and he's going through an adjudication process in the court
Mhm.
system, right? And whether or not her story is falling apart, we'll see. Watch this space on that. But
It is separate in the slight instance that you're presenting, but again, the overall premise of the point that you brilliantly brought on is the accusation. That's the thing for me that always stretches across all of these cases, the accusation and the damage that's done. And I think what you brought up about Jonathan Majors, I think what should happen now, the way that laws are done to creatively investigate these things and go back and forth, I think law enforcement, anytime someone is bold enough to come out on social media and come at one of these guys, I think automatically right then and there, someone from the local authorities or wherever it took place needs to get in and get the investigation started off immediately. And furthermore, there needs to be something put in place that when these things are found to be completely false, that the person that has made the accusation is severely punished, because there has to be at some point, right? Everyone has to be heard, not everyone has to be believed, but at some point the person that's being accused needs to be protected, and it needs to happen swiftly. What's going to happen here with this Jonah Hill situation is she's going to make this accusation, it's going to die out, and then people are never going to forget it. They're always going to be like, oh, remember there was that one chick, there was
Mm-hmm.
that one time, and he's
Kobe.
Under
always going to
Bridges.
forever be, he's always going to be forever associated with it.
Kobe. Oh my. Oh my God.
Nah, Kobe
What?
was just
What?
Kobe was wilding. But anyway,
What?
I mean, that's that's the thing for
I don't
me,
think
right?
Kobe falls in this category.
Ezekiel
Yeah,
Elliott.
yeah,
Zeke, you're cool.
yeah.
I ride with you on that hill.
I mean,
Because
it's
because
the list goes on and on and on. But nonetheless, right? I think the biggest piece here, especially for this girl, Alexa Nicholas, is she she's had accusations in the past, right? She had an accusation of her ex-husband and then later pulled it away, right? And then she was countersued by him. So, to EJ's point, the validity here, it's hard for me to believe because bitches be lying. That like it. I'm not saying it's not possible that it could have potentially happened. Um, but it doesn't sound accurate when you're talking about going to a party and something like that happening. There's so many people around that you would think that somebody else can usually come out and validate a story to that magnitude. Like at 16 years old, a stranger 18 years old, 19, 20, however old they are, comes and stuffs their tongue down your throat against your will, and it just happened to be outside when you went to get a cigarette. Nobody saw it, and you didn't go inside and tell anyone about it who could vouch for this story or say, yeah, she was a victim, but she was afraid to say anything at the time. Like it has so many holes in it. It has so many holes in it.
So I hear what you're saying, right? And to EJ's point about some kind of repercussions for people who make false allegations, I support that, but I'm always worried about a chilling effect, you know, because I would be afraid that it would have a chilling effect on victims coming forward, because it's like, hey, this thing happened to me, and if you know the chips don't fall my way in the investigation, I'm gonna get in trouble, right? Because it's like I said to you guys in chat, right? When these, like Steve just said, he takes her out back, and allegedly, and nobody saw anything, nobody heard, but whatever, right? When people are sexually assaulted, it's not like people send a group text like, "Hey man, I'll be right back. I'm about to go rape somebody," you know. So I'll holler at you boys in a few. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of shit doesn't happen. Like, hey, can you guys keep it quiet over there? I'm assaulting someone over here. Like, damn, you know. So, and I don't mean to joke about it and be flippant,
But
but
you think
like,
you think victims just sit there and be like, "Go ahead, have your way. I'm going to be as quiet as possible and never tell anyone."
well, we
Like
don't know what's happening, right? Like, like
exactly. So it
victims
goes
come
it goes both ways. You don't
right,
have somebody saying, "Hey, I'm gonna rape," but you also don't have someone saying,
but at the same time, though, right? We know that victims of sexual assault are sometimes, have weapons to their head, or to their throat, or whatever. The person could be, forcing their mouth closed by force. You've seen some women who say, I knew I couldn't overpower this guy. It was going to happen. So I let it happen so he wouldn't kill me. I didn't fight back so that way he didn't, you know what I mean? So we don't know what's happening in the situation. But in this case, we're not talking about a rape here. So let's not get too far off. But, the point I'm making is that a lot of times when these events happen, they're happening in secluded areas where there's nobody around that can be a second set of eyes to say, I saw that, right? But again, like I said, my overall point that I was making was just that a chilling effect concerns me, but I do agree about like some kind of repercussions. I just don't know how you do it without creating
yeah,
some chilling effect.
maybe
and
maybe they
like
need to do it like football reviews, where they say when they do the verdict, it's either confirmed or you know what's the other one, it's either confirmed or stands, right? When
Mhm.
it stands, it means that it happened, but there was unconclusive evidence or inconclusive evidence, right? Versus it was proven that you're lying, right? If they prove without a shadow of a doubt, like maybe you put the onus on the accusee and their lawyer or their legal team to prove that you lied if you're going to hold this person accountable, basically like a countersuit. You couldn't just say, oh well, the suit, we found that it, this person, that it didn't happen, we're going to find that this person is not being held accountable to these charges, so now you're going to jail. Like that would be a little bit excessive. I agree there.
The fact that you even led with the NFL challenge,
Well,
like this guy, he's itching for football. But nah, I think
come,
you're both
it's a
right.
metaphor, a metaphor.
Nah,
Symbol.
I think you're both right. But I think we as a society, right, we can't keep
It's
living.
too easy right now. Go ahead, EJ. Sorry.
That's what exactly. You can't keep living in one space, right? We've progressed as a society to say we have to listen to people. We have to start hearing them. We can't just dismiss it anymore. We lived in that society. We moved to that. Now we have to do something where we're realizing that society has evolved and that there are people that have a lot of flagrant accusations, i.e. the Zeke Elliott situation, i.e. the Chris Brown situation, and again, we don't have it all figured out, right? And as lawmakers, you got to be crafty about these things, but citizens deserve equal protection. And right now, there is not equal protection on both sides. And I understand there could be a chilling effect, but at some point in society, we have to figure this all out. And I would actually feel like too, people that have been victimized should want something to happen to prevent just the errant accusations flying, because we know it then it continues to create a harder space for people that actually have been victimized. But my point is just, I mean, something has to be done, because it's just, and we're just talking about celebrities. Just imagine the people that this
I was
happens
about to
to
say that.
every day, that
I
don't
was
even
just about
have
to
the
say that.
means to defend themselves or do things, or the guy that doesn't even get a second look and he's just locked up. I mean, we've seen so many cases over
Or
the
even if you
years.
beat it, let's say it's somebody you work with, you're gonna lose your job. First thing corporation gonna do, because they have to be objective. Well, they have to trust that what was said was accurate. Is they're gonna start an investigation. They're gonna suspend you, and you're probably gonna get fired. Right? They're gonna let you go. They're gonna let you go whether they find that it was true or not. No question. Like, and now you got to go fight this in court, and now you've lost your job, your character, is defamed, right? Like there's so much going on, so much going on. But but let's not allow that to cloud people's judgment about how we feel about victims. We do feel like victims should be held. We do feel like it's like sexual assault happens. We do feel like it's a serious situation and it needs to be addressed accordingly. Um, but I think as a society, I think to EJ's point, we've come to a place now where all you have to do, you could save yourself from so much, anything, by just saying, "Oh no, he did this to me." And I don't know that the shoe's on the other foot. Like I don't know if a guy was to come out and be like, "Yo, Shorty, Shorty walked up to me and grabbed my junk while I was at the coffee maker." I don't know that that's gonna be the same. I don't know if that's greeted the same as, "Yo, he walked up to me and put his tongue down my throat," or "He walked up to me and smacked my ass." Shit, all you got to do is she walk by and you be like, "Yo, she got some nice titties," and somebody overhear you. It don't even got to be her, and you held accountable. Like,
I mean, well, we know there's a double standard in that in that sense, and I mean, there's a lot of reasons for it. You could say it's privilege. You could say whatever it is physically. I mean, prime example, when Busta Rhymes gets slapped on the ass from a fan, what I mean? He just threw a drink on and kept it moving, and the people came at him. There was people in
like
our
he was a bad
society,
guy.
yeah, saying he's sassy and all of these other things. So I mean, I don't know about the other side, and I don't know, but the other thing I was thinking about too in this, um, I saw something where it was the LGBTQ community talking about it, and how Um,
IA.
guys guys face that from other guys, like just being aggressive and things of that nature, but they don't really say anything. But yeah, I mean, going off topic, I don't know. It's just in this society, we gotta have something, and I think when somebody comes out publicly, especially if it's at a star or something, I think whatever jurisdiction, whatever law enforcement group is in that area, they need to be knocking on that door. Hey, this is what you reported. All right, we start an investigation. We taking it out of your hands. We going with this thing. And I understand that could still contribute to the chilling factor. Still, something has to happen.
So along those lines, Mariah Mills is back in the news, and she says
My bad.
she says Zion Williamson um, was abusive, and that the NBA needs to know that. What do you guys think?
Yo, like
She
it's
says he was a woman beater.
you know, I mean, hopefully not, but in this case, with her, I would say, sh- show me something, show me some proof, because this kind of like at this point in the Zion Mariah Mills story, we've gone from, the shit being funny to it being um um sad, tragic, whatever you want to say there, to sounding like outright extortion, you know, allegedly. And so,
Grasping at straws.
yeah. And so I would say, you need to show me something, or at least show the NBA something to make an allegation like that, because this basically just sounds like, somebody looking for a payday.
Yeah. So that's kind of right. It's along the same lines of what we just talked about. you know, she's one of those people, and hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's not true, right? That it's that way, and if it is that true, we're sensitive to her, and all the best to her. But
Exactly right.
she's
He's
done
he's
everything
he's
possible
abusing them
leading.
guts.
Right. Right. Exactly. She said that you came out and exposed this man for getting his butthole licked. Like you emasculated the hell out of this dude. Say he was crying when you was, giving him fellation. Like like come on. Like this is what you did to this man, right? And the biggest point for you was now I can't, I don't get these payments. How am I supposed to go on, right? And then when everybody's like, "Yo, she crazy, man," and people start to forget about it. Now you come back with he hit me. So that's exactly what we're talking about, right? And it's playing at heartstrings is what it is. The reality is, there's going to be people that are going to be skeptical of it, like us, right? And probably the bulk of our community that keeps up with this type of thing. But you're going to have that handful of people who may not know the backstory of her being batshit crazy all over the internet for the last few weeks, and maybe they're supporters of, and now they see this post, right? And or maybe she hashtags sexual harassment or sexual abuse or whatever it is, right? And someone picks it up, and now Zion Williamson gets put into this space of a woman beater, because she decided now, she's gonna go ahead and try this route after the other 30 that didn't stick. Like it's crazy, yo.
It's like VP
And this is
always,
where we should say people should be held accountable. Go ahead, EJ.
and it's like VP always talks about how these, the right, once they just grab onto just a little something, you have that population in society that all they have to do is hear this one little flagrant thing, and dude is never gonna recover. Like even with Zeke Elliott, and you hear about, like I hear it on Jets podcast, um, when they talk about, oh yeah, Zeke is a free agent. Why don't we pad our locker room and get depth with him? Oh nah, I don't really want that guy. And all of the things that he's been associated with. What has he done? You know what I'm saying? Like, what has he done? And it's like you
I
you
think
you
he
get
did grab a titty on a on a parade float, but
again
not as bad as what they
the
they made it sound
motherfuckers,
like.
that are sitting here saying they don't want him, and all that he's done have admittingly in some cases done worse. So it's like, what has he done? Like, you know what I mean? When has Zeke ever been not available because of his off the field stuff, and he's been a headache and he's punching teammates? What has he done? But because he had one accusation hit the media, and now he's a bad guy. And he's never gonna shake that. Once you look up his name, it's always gonna come up. And the sad part is that young lady plotted against him. And if he didn't have the evidence, then what? And where is she now? You know what I mean?
Not in jail where she should be. Um, it's important for people to keep text messages, man. Keep receipts in anything you do. Like, I do that. The internet. That's the one key piece about the internet, and chats and stuff like that. I always have receipts when I prove VP wrong. Like, we be in chat all the time, and I pull up receipts from 2 years ago to prove VP wrong. Like, that's the way you got to keep it. You got to be ready and know, the keywords that you got to search to find this stuff. And so that's just my point of advice to the world.
That's not always the case. Sometimes that shit goes the other direction. If you ever
Rare.
look at a reality winter, the woman who was locked up for leaking classified information during Trump years, she released this one-page memo about some shit that happened during the whole thing with Russia trying to get into the elections, and they went into her phone and they took text messages that she was having with her sister and then took them out of context to make her look worse. So in one text message, she was talking about something like, some shit. I think it was like something with the environment or something like, we keep doing this shit or whatever. And then she's like, sometimes I just hate America. And then they when they submitted it to the court to say, like,
got him.
This chick is dangerous, she shouldn't be given bail, they basically got rid of all the context and just said, she's texting people, she hates America, and she leaked classified. Come on, Judge, you got to keep her locked up. And Judge is like, I agree. And so she was locked up from the time she was arrested until the time she got out of prison, through trial, everything, So
careful what you say. Careful what you say. Hey, did y'all buy anything for Prime Day?
No. Nah.
Thoughts and prayers to Zion Williamson, man. Like, that dude he's going through a lot, and he's gonna have to come out and ball next year. Like, coming off of an injury, now he's got a new baby, now he's dealing with this one, stage 5 clinger, stalker. And then he's gonna have to deal with these accusations. Like, he's gonna have to prove to the NBA that it's not true. So, best wishes to him, thoughts and prayers. Hopefully he gets through it, and hopefully it doesn't mentally fuck him up to the point where he can't come out and do his job. All this that's going on. You guys didn't get shit on Prime Day?
I should have, but I didn't.
Y'all are ass. I got a bunch of shit on Prime Day. But it was kind of corny this year, man. Amazon dropped the ball a little bit. I think, and also I've gone back and checked some of the stuff that was the Super Prime Day sale, and the price is exactly the same today as it was on the Prime Day sale. So they did the old markup deal. So Amazon got to stop playing games, bro. Like, I'm returning about 3 of them things that I ordered because I looked and it really wasn't a deal. Like,
so why are you returning it?
Because I only bought it because it was a deal. Like, I'm one of those people. I have a problem, EJ.
Rich people problems.
Not even close. Not even close. If I was rich, I wouldn't be checking the price.
Nah, LeBron James ass checks the price. So if he can do it, so do you.
No, but he's just cheap. He like VP. Like,
LeBron cheap as shit.
LeBron is. They said there's a handful of things that he don't check the price on.
LeBron be like $50. $50. Yeah. Oh no! You gotta take that shit back.
When they had that article that talked about when you work out with LeBron, you got to be ready to hear his on Pandora. You got to hear commercials because he don't pay for the unlimited, and that shit is like 99 cents a month. And he was like, "Damn right, I ain't paying for that shit."
I love the commercials.
Bron is the dude that came out and said he wasn't going to pay for his blue check on Twitter too. He was like, "Nah, I don't care. You're not getting my little
Yo,
$12."
I fuck with LeBron off the court, yo. I love that dude.
When it
I love
comes to
that
that,
dude.
yeah, I'm with him with that. Like tip culture, tip culture. Maybe we should talk about tip culture, man. Do y'all
Yeah, it's bad.
tip? Yeah, tip culture is out of control, and people frown at you. Like I'm seeing videos now, right? These like the Door Dashes and Uber Eats and stuff. I've never delivered for them, but the question becomes: are these drivers able to see the tip before they deliver your food? Because if that's the case, that's a big issue for me because like
I think they can. And the reason why I say that is I saw a story on CNN. It was either this past week or the week before from out in Texas where a guy was like, $5 tip on. He was like, such a nice house for just a $5 tip on
that's
the
the one I'm talking
doorbell
about.
cam.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then the lady's like, "What the fuck?" Like, it was a fucking $20 pizza. Like, I basically tipped 20%. But the dude was like, because her house is so nice, she should have tipped more. He ended up being let go from, DoorDash or Uber Eats, whatever it was, or whatever. But the whole tip culture thing, it's just something. It's one of those things where, through policy, right? We have allowed restaurants to pay their workers shit, and then it forces people to have to tip to get these people wages. And if you go to Ryan George, he's a YouTuber. He makes like funny videos and shit where he plays like all the people in the video or whatever. He has one that's called The First Guy to Ever Eat at a Restaurant. And he goes to the restaurant and the guy's telling him like all the benefits of the restaurant and stuff. They're making these little jokes and stuff. And then the manager character he's playing says, "But listen, when it's time to pay, I'm gonna need you to put a little bit of extra on there, because I'm not gonna be paying the wait staff that much." And then and then the guy responds like, "Why don't he do it?" He was like, "Because these people are helping you. You should want to give them some money." He was like, "You should be giving them some money." Like, they fucking work for you. Like, imagine like any restaurants or the food industry, I'll say, is the only business where we say, we're going to charge you for the services provided, and then you have to also pay the people who are providing you the service, you know,
You've got stripping
but you don't pay for
because
the service though.
you pay to get in,
Right. You pay to enter
unless
the
unless you're a
establishment.
regular like EJ. Like if it's
Right.
Cheers, you walk in, they like, "Hey Norm,
but
usual seat."
But yeah, but you pay to enter the establishment, and you can sit there and just watch the girls on the stage. You don't got to go get a lap dance or a table dance or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you could just do it. You have a couple drinks, watch what's happening on stage, and then bounce. If
Is
you
that what
do,
happens in those establishments?
that's what I've
I,
heard at least.
I'm learning. I'm learning. It's my first time hearing about it. Never been.
I
You know,
can tell you.
but yeah, you don't have to pay for those things, right? You can go and just enjoy the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Um,
Tipping
Same
is an
thing in
American thing.
Yeah, same thing in clubs. If you go to a club, you pay to get in, you dance, you have some drinks or whatever, but you don't have to like, pay the DJ. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the thing. I mean, when it comes to DoorDash and the Uber Eats and all of that, I tip them, but I don't think they're in a position to really say anything because you didn't make the food. You didn't wait on me hand and foot. You just brought me something that somebody else just gave you in your hand. Just
Hmm.
give it to me, drop it off my door, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? But in the restaurant business, somebody who managed the bar, tipping, it goes a long way. But it's a thing that you should feel you want to do. There's a lot of places now that are making it mandatory and everything. And like I always say, if you want to go out, you know what comes with that. So you don't like it, stay your ass home, right? But the other thing about the service industry, yeah, these restaurants, especially the big chains that got millions and millions of dollars, but the small mom and pop local places, it is tough to really pay your staff a crazy amount of money. But you can also, if you do good business, shit.
Give him a cut.
When I was managing the bar, all my bartenders made way more than me, and not to mention all the shit that they don't claim. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's always going to exist. Um,
That's because you
and
took payment in liquid.
no. I mean, I was on salary. I didn't go behind the bar unless I had to, and even then, I didn't really take from their crowd. But I mean, yeah, if we always forget that part too. There's places that want you to tip, and you give shitty service. You know what I mean?
Right. And the thing is though, is that the whole reason that we tip, it's not like, you go to a restaurant and you say, man, Sarah or John or whatever the server's name is, they did such a great job. I'm gonna shoot them a little bonus for taking care of me tonight. We tip because we're essentially taught to tip because restaurants don't pay their employees. You know what I mean?
But even if
And
they pay
because they
them,
give me a receipt that says this is 18%, this is
oh yeah,
20%. Y'all
that
gotta
shit is
stop.
bullshit. But
Y'all getting
they at
about
least
10 to
they at least let
12.
you know up front nowadays. But I mean, again, if you paid them more, it's still the culture of it's still not gonna go away.
Yeah, no, I don't have a problem with tipping, but I have a problem with tipping for the fact that these businesses aren't paying their employees correctly. You know what I'm saying?
Let me get a temp check here. Do you tip if you do takeout?
Like if I go pick it up,
Yeah, if you go pick it up.
Hell
no,
no.
absolutely not.
Okay, all right. So you guys are on the same cheap level. Do you well, you tip your pizza delivery driver.
Yes,
Because they brought it to me.
you're right.
Okay, so you tip
And
your pizza delivery.
I'm being empathetic to the fact that you drove and you had to deal with some conditions, and depending where
Right.
you live, you might be risking your car getting stolen or some shit like that.
I tip my pizza delivery or like my DoorDash person. I don't. If I go pick it up, I'm not tipping.
I am the delivery guy.
If you
Exactly.
if you if you go out to eat and your server leaves in the middle of their shift, do you cash out early to tip them and then tip the new person also,
I usually do.
or
Hmm.
have them transfer the check?
I usually
Yeah,
tip both.
I leave it up to them because
Well,
some
for me
places,
personally, I'd rather leave it open and then just tip the person and then just tip at the end as well.
yeah,
If you go out with a group of
some
go
places
ahead.
they say some places they let you know, hey, I'm ending my shift, so that lets me know that they don't share the pot of the tip. But some
Mhm.
places, people be like, yo, I'm out. But matter of fact, they'll be like, I'm sitting with you. You know what I mean? Which cause taking my tab because they have the lion's share of the tip. So I let them decide.
Do you tip after a lap dance, or
No,
just pay the,
No,
the lap dance price?
no.
no.
I just pay the lap dance
Wow.
price.
Okay, I'm
Well,
just
I don't
listen.
even get lap dances.
I
Lap
mean,
dances
I
are easy.
heard
I just
that's
I
what
get
you
to pay
should
for them.
do.
um. All right. If
Now,
okay.
I will tell you, the first time I ever went to a strip club, I did tip after a dance, but it's only, I was like 17. I didn't know any better, you know. So the chick finished dancing on stage and she walked by and she was like, "Can I get a tip for my dance?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." Like I just thought
Damn
that's how
right.
it works. You know? Like once I got a little bit more experience under my belt, I'm like, "Man, get your ass out of here." Yo." Like,
If you go out with a group of people and they split the tab, do you tip based on your tab, or do
my
you
tab.
tip on the full tab? Your
My
tab,
tab.
okay. Do you take into account that they're also getting a tip from the other people on those other tabs, or
No.
you just tip your full, whatever percentage you normally tip?
I tip based on my tab. I tip based on my tab. I usually do 15%, and then sometimes
15.
I'll sometimes depending on how the service was, I might go up. I usually do about 15.
15 is fair to me. Shit, look,
15 is the
the,
standard.
it
They
is, and it
do is
also
18 at least.
I know.
listen. What is it?
But
What is someone?
you tip when you go pick up your food.
No, I don't.
I do.
No,
I
Steve
do.
does.
I do.
Oh,
I do.
yeah, like
Um,
that.
but it depends on the service too. So like 15 is what I give, even if it's bad service, unless it's like you didn't come back at all. Like last night I went out to eat. We went out for a friend of mine's daughter's birthday, and they split the tab. And the waitress, like throughout the dinner, we were talking about like she wasn't smiling, like she wasn't present. It took her a while to come take our order, like all of that stuff. And I still tipped her 15%. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't care about shit like that.
I do.
Like smile, I can get people are people, so I don't care if they're
Well, not well,
efficiently
even
smiling.
even not just the smiling part, but like you still gotta be human. Like you just walk out like you got order. Like I want some type of human. Like act like you want to be there if you want to tip. You know what I'm saying?
Steve
Still
like,
got
no tip. I didn't get a hand job.
listen. Come listen, you got to come back and check if I'm thirsty still. You need to make sure like I wanted a glass of wine. I don't want the wine with my dinner. I want the wine before the dinner. So you should be coming to check for my drink order before you come for my food order. Like all of that comes into play when you talk about the service that you get. So for me, for you to go over 15%, I need you to be there regularly. I need you to walk by and be like, yo, is everything good? Like you should. Like if I say, hey, can I get some extra ice and I don't get my extra ice and you forget about it, that's a problem for me, man. Like that's like first of all, again, we go back to where we started. Tip culture is out of control. People expect it. Like and people are shamed if they don't do it. Like people look at you weird and funny if you don't tip. I've been in a position where I didn't tip. Like I was broke. There was periods when I was broke and I would still go out and eat and shit, and maybe you got 5%, if that, or zero.
Yeah, I've always tried to tip, even like when I ain't have it. I was about to say when I ain't have it like that. I still don't got it like that. But I mean, when things
I
were
could
worse than
see,
they are.
I could see your fireplace in the background. You got a piano, like what you talking about?
Um, but even back then, I would still try to throw something at them. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but like I said, I usually tip, but I don't like you do DoorDash, man. They be talking, oh, $9 tip. I'm like, I'm not tipping. I don't even tip my pizza guy $9.
Let me
So
ask you one last question: does physical appearance of the waitress help determine your tip percentage?
Nah.
no.
Mm-mm. Nah. It now.
Y'all bullshitting for the pod.
No, no,
y'all,
no. So
y'all
it doesn't.
bullshitting for the pod.
I think the way that you phrase it, I think you would have to say yes. But is it
That's
the
right.
determinant
Yeah.
factor? No. But
No, it's not the determining factor,
depending
but
depending on where you at, like if you had I mean, you talking about 22 years, man. He ain't concerned with that. You know what I mean? I'm talking about if you in a club somewhere and you know what I mean, they look good. Yeah, you probably do drop a couple of extra dollars on there. Like I got it, baby. Have a baby by me, baby.
I guess I'm
Ma-
just at a point to where I'm not like, let me give you an example,
oh, here we
right?
go.
Here we go.
I'm at my brother's bachelor party, right? And
Hey,
we're at
if you need help and errands behind you, blink twice.
Right, exactly.
uh,
If there's a knife to your back right now behind the green screen, tell us.
I'm at my brother's bachelor's party, right, a couple years ago, and we're at the strip club, and this, I'm in my wheelchair, right, and I'm just enjoying the show and shit like that, and this chick comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I want to dance for you," like one of those kind of like, "Oh my, look at you, I'm gonna take care of you," kind of thing like that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." You know what I mean? Because one, like
That's
she
fucked
coming at
up.
me like she gonna give me a pity dance or something. Get your ass out of here with that shit, yo. Like I've been in the game a while. You know what I mean? I don't, I'm good. Like appreciate you. Yo, what up, Gordy?
Get away from me, bitch. Doctor said I need it back out of me. Oh shit.
Listen,
You
how do you let the stripper down that comes up to you looking for a dance and you ain't you ain't trying to get a dance? What's your go to?
I just say I'm good. Maybe later.
know.
But you usually gotta say I'm good. If you say maybe later, they're gonna keep coming back.
What you say,
When
EJ? EJ be like, all right.
I
No, I usually say my girlfriend's the bartender. They be like, "What?" I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm just in here on her shift."
You gotta put it back on your girl. Like I I'd be like, nah, I promise my wife I wouldn't if I came here I wouldn't get none. That's that's a go to, and they respect it. Like women respect it. That
Yeah.
it's that one or I used to say like VP said. I used to be like, oh nah, I'm about to step out and go pick somebody up. Maybe later when I get back, or I just got here after I have a couple drinks.
Oh yeah, I just got here. I just got here is the truth though. It's because you be like, I can't waste this 20 on you, and there might
Yeah,
be somebody better in the back.
exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm trying to
it's
get a
fucked up.
lay of the land to
Right.
know like where I want to put this money. It's almost like making an investment in the stock market. You know, I got to do my research. You
I
Nah,
know,
only got 60. I can't be
try that
giving
one.
just 20 anybody.
Try that one when you get there later, EJ. Tell them
Hey
I
yo.
promise.
Hey yo. I
I
tell you, man,
promise.
I just use the bartender. I just be like, oh yeah, that's my girl. And they be like, wait,
What
yeah,
if they go?
what?
What if they go ask?
They do, and they be with it. The bartender, that be your homie. She know what
Oh,
time it is. She be like, mm-hmm.
uh,
Like,
gotcha.
mm-hmm.
nah. Try to promise, man. The promise, and then usually that'll lead to like some in-depth conversation. You learn why they really doing that shit. You learn where they from, what they tattoos and signet. You know what
Mhm.
they mean. You know
Mm-hmm.
if they got ex-husbands,
In
daddy issues.
school.
Maybe if I would have told my husband that he wouldn't have cheated. Like you don't know how many times I've heard that one.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yo, I'm telling you, yo, try it. Try it.
You
When
you ever went to a strip club with your girl, or would you?
I have not, but I would. I would.
Oh yeah,
What about you?
for
What
sure,
about you?
for sure.
In my old days, I went with someone else's girl. Years ago, of course. Yeah.
I already told y'all how I was with somebody that played both sides of the fence, so that was a regular
Mm,
thing,
Y'all
gotcha.
went to strip club together?
regularly.
I never did. I wouldn't mind it. I mean,
I've done it once. It was mad uncomfortable.
girls girls get all the attention at the strip club because girls are more comfortable with other girls, or
Yeah,
you know,
For
and
me, it
and
wasn't like that. I felt uncomfortable because, like,
he
it was
could
one of those
he could
situations
be
where,
filthy.
right, where your girl's like, like, yo, I'm gonna go hang out. You're like, go on ahead, and like, she really mean don't go, you know,
Mhm.
and then it's gonna be trouble
Uh,
later. You
Well,
know what I
that's
you
all
mean?
the
So,
time. Do
you
they
went
ever mean go? When
right.
you
they
went
say
with
have fun, do
somebody
they really mean have fun?
you went with somebody who wasn't comfortable really wanting to be there.
No. So the way it happened, well, we go out as a group, right? It's like five of us. It's me, my brother, my wife, and then two female friends, right? And like the night's over, but me and my brother are still trying to go hang out afterwards. You know what I mean? And so my brother just says like, "Let's go to the strip club," like thinking they're gonna be like, "Nah, I'm good. Like take me home." You know what I mean?
First of
And then
all,
me and him gonna go out, and they're always like, "All right, let's do it," And we're like, "What the fuck?" And next thing you know, we're at the strip club, and
your
I'm
brother
just
should never say that in front of your
I'm
significant
just
other.
my wife is cool, but I
Cliff,
was
if you're
uncomfortable.
listening, don't say that in front of people's
I was
wives.
uncomfortable. So like we get there and like the chicks are dancing, and my friend Tracy's there. Steve knows Tracy, and she's like, "Oh man, look at the girl on the pole," and I'm just sitting there like,
But they're amazed by other stuff. Like they're amazed
yeah,
because the same shit we're amazed by when we watch these older, like we watch LeBron. This dude's 40 years old running up and down the court dunking on dudes like ultra stamina. The women get there and they look at another girl up this pole and they're like, "Yo, I know what it would take to be able to climb up, hold yourself up and then slide yourself down." Like, listen, man,
yeah,
that deserves tipping more than anything else because that takes a lot. Yo. Imagine,
Oh yeah.
listen, try to pull yourself up from your fucking bedpost, yo. You'd be like, damn. Imagine pulling yourself up to the roof. That shit crazy, man.
But see, I've experienced going with women that enjoy it and enjoy it too much, and they become too much. Like now you're doing too much. Now you're
Mm,
making the girl uncomfortable. Now it's a
mm,
Me Too
right.
situation. Now you done fucked it up for everybody. Like now we gotta go. You know what I mean? Because you're too handsy, and it's yeah. That's the one reason why I wouldn't typically go back. But yeah.
Man, we went. I was ready to go from the moment we got there. I was just like, yo, like this shit is. This is like the worst time ever, you know. And then my brother, he was like, I'll be right back, you know, like you go to the bathroom or something. And then he comes back like 5 minutes later. The chick comes by, starts giving me a dance. He done went and like paid her over there, you know. And so, and I'm sitting there like, what the fuck, you know. And so the whole time she in front of me dancing, I'm sitting like this.
Talking to your wife. Hey, we got milk at home. We gotta get some eggs tomorrow. You want to go to Home Depot tomorrow?
That's just uncomfortable, man.
All right. So y'all tip the bartender at the strip club, but not the strippers at the strip club.
No. Well, I order a drink, I'll tip.
Okay. Why is it that we tend to be more attracted to the bartenders than the strippers? Is it because they leave something to the imagination a little bit?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't understand that logic. But I mean, I think
I came there for what I came there for.
In certain instances, it makes sense in the sense that they're the gatekeepers to your alcohol, and they're the ones that get to know you a little bit better, and they actually talk to you, and you kind of know that they're not here to get a dance from you, but you just there to get drinks. So I mean, it depends, especially if you go on slow nights and ain't nothing popping, and you know they're the only ones there. You kind of build that bond. But yeah, I think that's everywhere pretty much.
Yo, let me ask you the ultimate question here, both of y'all. You eat at the strip club?
Yeah, I would, depending on which one it is.
I can't do it.
You didn't eat that? Yeah, I thought you said you had Magic City wings before.
Never.
Oh well. Yeah.
I've been around people eating at the strip. I don't see how people do it. Yeah, I just can't.
Why?
Like I don't know. Maybe people walking around naked, shaking ass. You know.
You think they're the ones preparing the food? Most of them are doing that because they can't cook.
But no, but okay,
that's why they single.
Same situation though, right? We had my brother's bachelor party, and like somebody who's sitting like right next to me is eating chicken wings, and like right next to him, some dude was getting a dance and shit. And he's
that's the happy place, man. Like
that shit that's weird.
And I couldn't eat in a packed house night. Like I would go like happy hour, but I mean
like a Sunday football type of thing.
Yeah,
it's like 11 o'clock Saturday night. I'm talking about.
Nah, I ate already.
Well, there's a difference. Like, would I go outside to the food truck and grab something and bring it back inside? Yes. Would I eat something that they had sitting on the bar that been there since like 9 o'clock that everybody's kind of went over and touched? Probably not. But listen, you've gotten lap dances before and a titty pop in your mouth. What's the difference between that going in the food that they're cooking for you?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't get the correlation.
Never happened to you?
No.
Oh. Me too. Me neither.
Yo, you're wild. Shit, Lemon Pepper Lou at Magic City. I heard they have a phenomenal menu down there.
No, there's like over here. There's Rachel's. I never been to Rachel's. Well, not for food. But they do steak and everything that I hear. But there's a couple over here that they always say, oh, on Sundays they got unlimited wings and shit. And it sounds tempting because it's unlimited wings, but realistically, first of all, how good are the wings going to be? That's one. And then two, I don't know that. I don't know if I'm about that life.
Yeah, did I ever tell you?
PJ is a different kind of savage.
Huh? What? Did I ever tell you my wife got a tip at Rachel's? Remember when I lived in Castleberry, Steve? We had
back in the day.
We only had the one car, right? And so I drove to work. So she was going to pick up TJ from school. So she, walked to the school, and she would cut through the Rachel's parking lot to get there faster. There was like this like religious dude on the sidewalk protesting and shit. And so as she was getting ready to go through the sidewalk, he was like, "Please don't go in there. Please don't do it. I'll give you $20." And she was like, "Okay." And so she took the 20 and just kept walking.
Oh my god, yo! Yo,
And
that's wild.
I know frugal is contagious, so I know Aaron took that shit. She
Hey,
like make it
yo,
40, and I promise y'all won't ever go in.
I won't ever go back. Give me 1 week's pay. Well, how much you make? How much you making a week? I don't know. 120. Done.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yo, yo.
Shit crazy.
Oh man.
That means he just made an assumption.
Oh,
Right.
I had something about that, right? Really quickly. The like as far as restaurants and different spots. I can count on my hand in this city, right? How many kitchens actually have like black people cooking, but it's like everywhere. It's a Spanish dude. It's Spanish dudes cooking. Like, cause you was saying at the strip club, like at the strip club, the whole kitchen staff is just like they got a team of Spanish chefs and they cooking everything. Like, it's crazy. Like, they don't get enough credit, yo. They are everywhere cooking everything. Even the deli I go to for work, it's an Asian style spot where everything is Asian food, but the whole kitchen staff is Spanish.
Are they Mexican?
I don't know their nationality, but they speak Spanish. It's crazy.
We there's a there's a lot of black kitchen staff down here, and but remember a lot of we don't have as many mom and pop spots like you here in Orlando. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these places they can't pay under the table because there's always somebody watching in Disney Town. So but back home, yeah, back in Connecticut, similarly like to what you're talking about. But
You know where you're not gonna get a lot of um Spanish people cooking at?
mm,
Waffle House.
Waffle
Yeah, for
House,
some reason that's true.
They either gonna be black or
All
rednecks.
right. Yep. You for some reason that's true.
they couldn't just be white, they had to be rednecks.
For some reason that is true.
That's been my experience.
You
I've
know
never
why? You
seen a
don't
Spanish dude in there.
Yeah, you don't put adobo in waffles.
Wow. But you know what
It's
else is
true.
crazy? You know what else is crazy too? A
Tell
lot
me.
of these cats that cook in these various restaurants, whether it's Italian, whatever, right? Soul food spots. Like one big spot here called Sharif's. Yo, they were like on social media talking about, yeah, we black own this, and then people were jumping in the comments, but Jorge behind there cooking everything. Like it's not one black soul in some of these spots, right? But when you go to the Hispanic spots that are actually, or Spanish or Hispanic spots that are actually for that culture, the food don't be in. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck is going on? Like, who is
Well,
cooking in here?
you're in Baltimore though. I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I don't know. Like the Spanish food down here be good. That should be
it's
good.
it's good, but it's I mean I'm from Miami. You know what I mean? So like I went to the Cuban spot by my old apartment and like it's straight, but like they gotta step it up. You know what I mean? Because when I go to Little Havana, I feel like I'm dining with Fidel. You know?
Well, that's the same as if you go to a Haitian restaurant here versus a Haitian restaurant in Miami. Like or a Mexican restaurant here versus Mexican restaurant in Mexico. Like it's different.
Well, I don't really
Um
like going to Haitian restaurants because my stepmom can fucking cook. Like, and so when I eat like Haitian food from restaurants, like it'd be good, but it don't taste like hers.
yeah. Well, then you would never go to restaurants. Kind of how I feel. I went, but yo, I'm man. Listen, I found the spot last night. Little Italian spot. Mob was definitely in there. EJ, you would have been like, oh yeah, that's that's pussy right there, or that's Paulie for sure. It was good though. EJ, our VP is called Il Pescatore. You might have eaten there before, but it's over by it's on 50
You
down
know I can't
off.
afford to eat the places you go.
Here we go. It's an Italian restaurant, small joint. They still got drop ceilings, so you know.
this this man tips when he goes to pick up his food. He
Right.
be like, "Thank you for allowing me to pick this up and drive it home myself."
You should tip on takeout. They still got to pack the bag. They got to make sure you get your utensils, your condiments. Like there's still a portion, there's still a job to be done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't tip 15%. I don't tip 15%.
I've done it before.
Sometimes it's just a standard five. Usually it's like a standard $5 on takeout for me.
Oh,
I've done
damn.
it before.
I guess I'm a piece of shit because I've done it before, but it's been like a dollar, maybe two.
$1 or $2 at the most.
Y'all ain't shit.
Especially if it's a Jamaican
Steve, it's
restaurant.
levels to it, yo. We're just not there yet. We
No,
trying to
it's
Especially
be
if
like
not.
it's
you.
a Jamaican restaurant.
We're
Because
trying to be like you when we
Jamaicans,
grow up.
yeah, especially if it's a Jamaican spot. Because if it's one of them niggas, oh, what you want? Like, nah, nigga, you not getting shit from me. Nah, we out of that. Nah, all right.
Well, no. So if I walk in and I order at the place, I generally don't tip on that takeout. I'm talking about takeout that I ordered to go pick up.
What
That's
is going
probably
the car?
That seems like even worse though, like because it's already done before you got there. I would think you would tip when you're ordering there based on the interaction. Like, oh, they were very nice. They asked about my Cowboys jersey. They talked to me. All right,
I
I'm gonna
gotta,
give them a tip. You already called over the phone and like, yep, I'm gonna give them 5.
but they had to prep it. They had to prep it. They had to give me my utensil. If I'm there and I order it, right? Think about it. If I'm there and I order it, I got to be like, hey, let me get some extra this. Let me get some extra that. Versus if I call and I'm like, yo, let me get, I like a lot of
It's the same
ranch
thing.
with my
You're just
wings.
doing it in front of their face. It's damn near
Yeah,
like you're in a restaurant. You're just taking it to
but
go.
they get it. But they got to get it right for you. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's rich. He's rich. My cousin's rich.
No,
That's
y'all
cool.
are just cheap. It's
Nah,
not.
he rich.
It's not rich or poor. It's cheap versus, not cheap. Whatever that's considered. Whatever that word is.
You notice, boy.
All right. What y'all been watching, man?
For me,
I'm
man,
not.
I actually
Go ahead.
watched that it's not really a documentary. It's called Reality, and it's with Sydney Sweeney. She plays the girl reality winner I'm talking about. And what's kind of cool about that is that even though it's a movie about like what happened with her, like leaking the classified document or whatever, like almost all of the dialogue is taken from when the FBI came to interview her and arrested her. They were recording, so everything that you hear like on like all the dialogue is all like taken straight from the FBI transcript of the interaction that she had with them
So
when they came
basically,
back.
the transcript became the script for the movie.
Basically. And so
Sydney
you know
Sweeney's in it.
yeah, she plays Reality Winter.
Does she go to
You don't
jail?
they don't I mean they show her get arrested, but you don't like see her go to jail.
Oh, I was looking for the jail scenes.
No, it's just everything happened. The whole movie takes place at her house because she went out like shopping, and then she came home, and then when she came home, she get ready to get out of the car, and then FBI dude knocked on her window. Hey, and she's like, "What the fuck?" So, and she just watching that movie. It always I always tell people, the number one thing you do when you interact with the cops is shut the fuck up. Because
Right.
you're going to get yourself in trouble. And that's exactly what she did. You're thinking you're helping your cause and you're running your mouth and you don't know what they know. But anyway, so I watched that. I also watched 65. That's what I think his name is like Adam Driver or something like that.
Yeah, I fell
But
asleep on it.
yeah, it wasn't that good. Like it was built to be like this like epic blockbuster kind of joint, and it was just all right. It's basically about some people from another planet. They're traveling and they end up getting hit by an asteroid or something, and they crash land on Earth like back 65 million years ago, like during dinosaurs and shit, and they're trying to escape because when they have like some kind of device that they can like look and scan shit, and when they scan, they see something in the sky, and when they scan, it's the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs and shit. So they're trying to like get to the escape pods to get off the planet or whatever before everything gets destroyed or whatever. So it was
Who's in it?
okay. It's
Adam
him,
Driver.
yeah, because there's a little girl in there who plays like his secondary actress. But
Mhm.
in the thing, like from their planet, people speak all these languages, and they're like super high tech. So they have like translators to where they can talk to each other. But when the
Mhm.
ship crashed, the translators broke, so she don't understand him, he don't understand her. So he just kind of like when they got to move, he's telling her like, and she's like,
Nah, about that life. I'll be watching some weird ass shit.
That was a major movie production.
Yeah, it was a major movie.
Oh, so it
Well,
wasn't like
they
it wasn't
intended
hot
it to be.
fries or whatever. EJ, that's all you're watching. You're gonna hear about that till 2024.
Hey, your
Cheeto, hot
boy,
Cheeto.
your boy Joe Budden's liked it.
That don't mean
It's
nothing,
not EJ. It's not that you liked it. We all have recommended bad movies,
right?
But you said, "Yo, I watched this thing called Flaming Hot about the guy who made Flaming
I
Hot
could
Cheetos."
see it.
I
I
was like,
could
"Yo,
see it being
this is one of
nominated.
the best movies. I'm talking about. This thing is going to probably
I
win
didn't say it's
awards
one of
or
the
get
best movies
You
I ever
did say
nominated
saw.
for
movie of the.
awards."
You said movie of the
Oh,
I
year.
I
You
could
said
see
it
it being
was.
nominated.
you
I can
talked
see
about
it
that shit
being nominated for
like it
that.
was Forrest Gump. Like, you know what I mean?
I could see it being nominated for that. I could. I
Uh,
could. Just based
What
on
for
what they
like a
be.
BET Image Award?
Y'all
no,
just
not
don't like
even
Mexicans.
BET.
I just don't like Mexicans, yo.
I love
What's
Mexicans.
up? What's up with Warrior, man? Why is it only still 4 episodes?
I
The
don't know.
writers' strike, maybe.
I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah.
but is it written in the United States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's not. I was, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't
Racist.
know why it's only 4. Maybe they
No,
changed
the
the
racist.
maybe they
Just thought
changed
if it
the
was written
release date or something.
overseas, that like
Or it could also be, a lot of networks are holding back. Like, I usually watch Big Brother on CBS, the reality show, and it usually comes on like in June, and they're holding it back to August because they're trying to have content since everybody's out on strike.
Is there any way been made on that? Any
No,
headway made on that?
no.
Damn.
And the actors just announced they're going on strike too. So now the actors and the writers are on strike.
Oh, it's time to start a reality show.
Yeah.
That's when reality shows start popping. Y'all ready?
Mm-hmm.
What we gonna do?
We,
No, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
I could hear it in your tone before you even start.
He's about to make a pitch. We already been talking about it.
Terrible. I got nothing. Oh man.
Yeah, that's all I've watched. The regular stuff, and then those 2 movies.
Them Tubi movies is about to be hitting if
Yeah.
everyone stay on strike.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I've been watching Minds, and our girl from Sopranos, who was in Sons of Anarchy, that played Jax's baby mom. She made a cameo this past
Adriana.
episode. Adriana, yeah. So that was pretty
Oh,
dope.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
weird because she was in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, so they I mean, it always, the Mayans is a
Was it the
spinoff
same
of Sons of
character though?
Anarchy. Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it was, Kurt Sutter did it as because I think the season is ending and the show is ending, so he kind of did it as one of them Easter eggs.
Like
Because
a flashback.
Easy crashes his motorcycle, and she basically stops in the road to pick him up, and she was like, "Yeah, my ex-man, my old man, who used to be in a joint." He was like, "Well, which one was it?" And she was like, "I don't want to tell you because y'all might be beefing." So, which is actually true in the current show. So yeah, that was pretty dope. But other thing, I'm gonna start watching Lincoln Lawyer. Season 2
I
came
heard
out.
it's good, man.
Oh yeah, I loved the first season. Season 2 came out, so I'm gonna start that up. Just finished Jack Ryan. That was a damn good show. So I love Jack Ryan. That's a good one. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it.
I'm finishing up Ted Lasso. I'm on the back 9, if you will. I've been watching it. I kind of went fast early, but I've been kind of going slow playing it because I don't have nothing else lined up. But I tried to start. I lined up that. Dang it. I started it and I forget what it's called. You guys talked about it briefly. It's the. It's on Netflix. I'm gonna look it up really quick here. It has our guy in it.
You never can find nothing on Netflix when you need to look for it.
I know, yo, the shit's crazy.
It
And then
pops
as
up
soon as
on your first joint all the time when you don't want to find it. You know
whenever
when
I'm
you want
not
to find it.
potting, it's right there. But now all of a sudden, shit been top 10. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not Netflix. It's on Apple TV. Um, You guys know what I'm talking about.
Fubar, the Arnold joint.
No, with our guy from
On Apple TV.
yeah,
You talking about the
hijack,
Jason?
hijack,
Oh,
hijack.
I never watched that.
Yeah, I never seen that.
You guys, hijack. Are you
So neither
serious?
one of us have talked about it.
Well, it just started. It's what
I mean, I
Idris
don't even
Elba's
have
in it.
Apple TV, so I definitely didn't see
All right. Well, you guys are pieces of shit. It has Idris Elba in it.
Oh,
And yeah, and it's hijack. It's just what it is on an airplane. It's only 4 episodes in right now because they're doing like weekly drops. But I only got about halfway through the first episode because I'm old and I fell asleep. But it looked really good for the parts that I was watching before I fell asleep. Um, so I started watching that and it looked pretty good. I started the quarterback one on Netflix. Did you guys see that with the story of Mahomes and for last season? A few of those guys. I didn't finish it. I didn't get very far in it, but I'm gonna go back to that. I went back to the comedy we were talking about with Ted Schuster, I think his name is.
No, Ted Saragusa. No,
Ted Saragosa.
no. I'm thinking of Tony Saragusa. Ted Seguros. Ted Seguros, something like that. Ted Segura.
Tom Segura.
Tom Segura.
Tom Segura. Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I went and watched
Yeah,
some
we
more of that
butchered
because
this
it's
man's
he'd
name.
be all right. He'd be all right. He's a nobody. Well, he's a somebody, but you
Tom
get what I'm saying.
Segura, yeah.
He's not a big name guy, or maybe he is. Apparently, he has a bunch of different stand-ups on Netflix that I'm gonna get to.
He must have been like a big writer. I think he must be like a writer that no one really knew about and is finally like coming out to the forefront on the stage.
Did you
Because
get to
I've
watch
never
it,
seen
VP?
him.
No, he looks like he's or sounds like EJ, and correct me if I'm wrong. Keep me honest. I feel like he's his his approach and delivery is almost that of someone who's like a right
Republican.
winger.
Yep.
Yeah, like a right winger.
Yep. Joey
But
Diaz is his best friend and he's a Joe Rogan he's associated with Joe Rogan too, so that lets you know.
there you go. Well, it was funny nonetheless. Still, Tom Segura, shout out to him. I'm gonna go and watch the rest of his stuff on
When
Netflix.
he was on Hot Ones, that shit was funny because the show where they eat the chicken wings, the hot chicken wings as they're being interviewed or whatever,
Mhm.
and he was talking about like one of his favorite episodes of that show was when Trick Daddy was on there, and he was like, because Trick Daddy was on there talking about eating ass. He was like, the way he talked about it made him think like, man, I might need to try this. Like, He's
Well,
like,
he
yeah.
talks about it in the stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh, about Trick Daddy?
No, about him eating ass.
Oh, okay.
Yo, you know what else I started watching that you guys gotta watch? This shit is crazy. I didn't, and VP, you probably a little more in tune with this. EJ, you probably haven't had this happen in a few years, but you start watching something by association. Like you're sitting there, like, what is she watching? And you like doing something, looking at the computer, messing with your phone, and you just keep hearing. And then you look up and you're hearing. So, my wife been watching Married at First Sight on Netflix, and at first I was like, I don't want no parts of this bullshit. Like, and I'm sitting there like messing with the computer, looking stuff up, and
Make it stop.
I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm listening and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm hooked. Yo.
Yeah, that's how I be. That's how I started watching Survivor. I didn't watch any reality shows. My wife used to watch all of that shit. Real World, Survivor, big, everything, all that shit. And I'll be sitting there and she's watching it and I'm doing something else and I'm hearing something that sounds interesting, even though I'm not into it. And I'm like, how come they keep saying that or whatever? She's like, oh, so basically last week, Rob, he said this, and then Amber got pissed, and then she did poop poop poop. And I'm like, well, how come they just didn't do da da da? I mean, so basically da da da. You kind of got to watch it to see, but and then next thing, a couple weeks go by, I go from asking questions to sitting down watching, and all of a sudden I'm fucking hooked.
You got to be messy to like reality TV. I
Yeah.
love reality TV. Like I watch I watch every what is that? Damn it, I can't remember the name of it now.
Challenge.
Every challenge. I was gonna say
Mhm.
real world road rules, but yeah,
Hmm.
that's when it started.
Yeah.
Um, I watch every challenge. I mean, CT's my guy. But yo, Married at First Sight. Yo, could you imagine you go on a show and you get married, right? You married to this girl, and now y'all done did all the theatrics for the show, and now y'all on like week 2 or 3, and she still ain't trying to. Yeah, exactly, exactly, EJ. Like my man's my man's is it's like episode 20 and they like an hour long, right? my man my man's is just getting props from people for finally getting a kiss. Like
Damn.
y'all
Wow.
been married like 3 weeks and she just gave you the first kiss. Nah.
Mm,
Mm-mm. Annulment. Day two. Day
absolutely.
two. Yeah.
That I heard was good in 90 Day
Fiance.
Fiance or something. Yeah.
People be hooked on that too. I haven't
That 90
started
Day
that.
Fiance though, I heard that that one
Scripted.
is yeah, it's like kind of scripted because they were saying that like that process to get like the visa and all that kind of shit is like super long. So
Mm.
they make it seem like a lot more shit is happening than actually is.
Yo, check out Married at First Sight. That shit's crazy. You'll be like, you'll be sitting there, EJ. You'll be sitting there like, I know you. You'll be like, huh? This chick was like, this 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 other chick was like, I think it was the same chick. She's like, they go see each other's apartments for the first time, and he goes and he walks in her closet. She got Louis Vuitton up top, and then she got Prada and all that stuff. And she like, I'm not changing. He's like, so how many, how much do you spend? Would you say how frequently do you buy shoes and stuff like that, like high price stuff? And she's like, well, 2 or 3. I usually do 2 or 3 whenever I go. And he's like, well, how often do you go? And she's like, 3 or 4 times a year. Bitch, like think about it. You're talking about Louis shoes,
Yeah,
right? If you buy 3 or 4, you about 5 grand in 4 times a year. You spend about 20 grand on shoes a year. Mm-mm.
no man.
This marriage ain't gonna work. Then you got another dude. This dude, he's talking like, "Yo, I gotta my credit score is almost perfect. It's about 815 or some shit like that, right?" And she's like, "Oh, you gotta, I'm not driven by money, blah blah blah." So she goes to see his house, and he brings her like to his office or whatever. Right? He got a whiteboard up of his budget for the month. How much is going in his 401k, all that shit, right? Like VP some shit like like what you did to become debt free, but he's debt free. Like he just has it up on the board and
Yeah.
he watches it monthly, and she's like, "No, this." She looks like, "Nah, that's too much. That's excessive. Like I can't be like that, yo." It
Damn.
shit is crazy watching it, yo. It's crazy. Um you gotta check it out. You gotta check it out. It's interesting because you could see that they're trying to make it work at times, right? And you got to be accepting and adjusting to some of the stuff there, but some
Like
of that shit.
how do they like is the show just putting two people together and then they supposed to just get married or like how does that part do they tell them like I like these kind of people, this is what I'm attracted to kind of thing, and they try to find somebody like
That's
how
a
does that
great
part work?
that's a great question because I was because I'm guilty by association. I didn't see like the first 5 or 6 episodes, so I don't know
Gotcha.
how it started. I picked up where they're already like getting ready to do the marriage, like go through their ceremony and shit. So,
Gotcha.
and they're like, "Yeah, I want to marry him," So I'm sure there's a process, right? Because she's like, "Yeah, I definitely want to marry him," and she's like, "Yeah, I want to marry her." And yo, it's crazy, yo. It's crazy.
I think I've seen a couple of them that didn't go well, and like it didn't go well like at the wedding or something. But
Yo,
but
my
that
man,
whole
Shorty called my man the wrong name, yo. They wasn't even having sex. They was just like talking through something. He locked her out the house for the night.
yo
He was like, "Yo, I accidentally hit the deadbolt," and everyone on the show was like, "I never hit a deadbolt by accident."
Yo.
Yo, you got why? He's like, "I don't know why she wants a divorce. She wanted to divorce me, dog. You locked her out the house." And not only that, she called him the name of another dude on the show. So it was like, it was probably,
With the production crew?
nah, dude, another dude that's taking part in it. Like she called him
Oh my
John, and John is
gosh.
one of the characters, and like it's crazy, yo. I'm telling you, that shit is a trip. You got to watch it. It makes you, you know why it catches you? Because you be sitting there like,
It
nah,
won't be me.
shit wouldn't be me. I ain't putting up with that shit. Like when homie was like, when she was like, no intimacy, he was initially he was like, you know what, I respect it. Like I respect your wishes. You know, you got to warm up to somebody. This is brand new. We just learning each other. We're just meeting each other. I get it, right? But you talking about 4 weeks in, and you just getting the first kiss, my dude, you out your mind.
Nah, bro. Can't do it.
Not even a.
I couldn't do it.
You got to at least listen.
You got at that point, if y'all married, you gotta smash, man. Like, come on. Gotta smash.
Even if you don't, your handwork, like make you can make something happen, yo.
Yeah, you
For
gotta
real.
give me some type of intimacy, man. Like it just doesn't make logical sense. Like you're gonna expect them to be faithful, but you're not doing anything to take care of their needs. Like,
Yeah, this other couple that they had their dogs meet, and the dude got mad because he got mad because her dog got aggressive with his dog. He's like, yo, it's funny, man. You gotta watch it, yo. It's definitely worth the watch, man. I'm hooked. I'm hooked. I'm probably gonna go back to it. I'm sure there's other seasons too,
yeah, it's been around. It's been around. It's been
which should be
around.
good.
That's funny. That is
Um,
funny.
Yeah, I just googled it. It says season 5 is supposed to be starting, so it's been on for a while.
yeah, so I'm gonna have to check it out. Some more of that. Um, Adam 22's girl took the BBC. That's been big news, and the actual tape came out. The actual video came out 2 days ago on the 14th, and people are kind of talking about the way she went about it. I don't know that there's a huge talking point for us. But I mean, she's a porn star, and like EJ said, I didn't know, and I think a lot of people didn't know this. I didn't know he was a porn star before he started podcasting. So, with that in mind now, that's what I think about every time I look at him. Like, okay, well, that's why he don't got no problem with her, laying up with somebody else, because he's in that business.
Yeah, it's yeah, that's why I was kind of like, okay. Like people were literally talking about this dude like I can't believe he did
It's
that. I'm
still his
like, this
wife,
dude,
though.
I
It's still his
mean,
wife, though.
yeah, but how many porn stars have been porn stars married and doing it? You know what I mean? Like that's why to me it was just like, okay, I don't see the point here. Like,
Yeah,
Would you marry a porn star?
no,
absolutely not.
Would you
absolutely
marry a
not.
stripper?
No,
I couldn't. I mean, an
that's because I
active
couldn't
one,
handle
no,
it or whatever. But I mean,
Could
it's
your girl have an OnlyFans?
No,
depends on what's happening on there.
no.
Would you let your girl have the little feet OnlyFans joint that they got out
Yeah,
there?
I would let her have an OnlyFans that goes
Wait,
all the
let's
way.
rephrase. Let's stop saying let. Would we accept? Would we stay with someone that has?
Fine, I
We
would
can't say
accept.
let.
I would accept an OnlyFans that goes all the way solo.
Wow,
There's no part. There's no partners coming in though.
Like
wow,
the world see?
no mask.
And that would be up to
Wow,
her.
wow. Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
No, I'm not about that life. I would let the foot shit, maybe. Yeah, the foot shit, as long as there ain't no face to the foot. Like most of these weirdos that like feet anyway. Like they they're fucking weird, yo. They only want the feet anyway. They don't care what they're attached
Oh
to.
my goodness.
Yo, there's feet ones, armpit ones. Like, yo, shit is
People are into some
crazy,
shit.
yo.
People are into some shit, boy.
Some people
Yo,
are weird. EJ, would you be with someone who had a OnlyFans? What if you start? Well, you're not dating anymore, but let's say
What?
you had. Yeah,
Oh, you mean dating? Okay, I got it. Okay.
I thought you had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean the way you said it,
Oh,
I didn't know
okay.
what you were talking about.
Got you. I'm tracking. I'm tracking.
All right. Hope she don't listen to this part. Um,
You're
um,
wild.
would you allow? Would you be in a relationship with someone that had OnlyFans?
No,
What's the most you would allow to happen?
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it at all. I mean, the
What if it
feet
was
might
just
be the only
boobs?
thing. Nah, I can't do it.
No
Cause
face? No face, no case?
nah, couldn't do it.
No.
Couldn't do it.
No face, no case, no tattoos?
Something gonna be recognizable. Like,
How much you got to make annually and doing it for you to accept it?
I mean, if that's the case, you might as well just be a pimp. Like, that don't. Just doesn't
No,
make
you
sense.
still love this person. Like, there's more to it.
But I mean, you basically saying you're allowing you just monetarily saying do whatever you want to do. You know, it's our money. I mean, to me, that's pimpery. Ain't nothing different.
You, you agree with that, VP?
No, I mean, I
It's not pimpery.
no. I mean, like I mean, she's not being exploited in what in the situations that we're talking about here.
She's
You know,
exploiting herself.
I mean, I don't look at it as I don't look at it as exploitation. I look at it as work. Sex work is work in my mind.
Yo, who was it? Was a comedian recently. Oh, the dude Kev. I can't remember his name.
Have
He's
on
just
stage,
nah, not Kevin on stage. It's another Kevin. I can't remember his last name, but he's a New York
art.
dude. He's a Spanish cat, young cat. He's like 30. He's young, early 30s. And he was like, "Yeah, my boy is an OnlyFans manager out here in
Oh, I saw that. I
somewhere."
saw that.
That shit was funny. He was like, "Man, he basically,
Arizona.
yeah." He's like, he basically manages bitches on OnlyFans." I was like, "Yo, yeah." I was like, "Yo, that's straight pimpery."
I think there's a lane for that, especially with this
I would
writers.
say so. I would say so.
No,
That
I'm
could be
just
a
but I
reality show.
mean, you have some people like I'm pretty sure all of us have like a friend or something who's like, yo, if that chick got an OnlyFans, she'd probably be making bread. You know what I'm saying? And some people are like, yo, why? I mean, it's there. Why not? Why not make it?
Nah, I'm totally for it. I'm just saying I couldn't be with you.
Yeah.
That
I
friend
mean,
that you say she'd probably be making bread. Would you subscribe to it?
mm, that's tough. 'Cause I don't subscribe to anything.
That's true. You are cheap. You like LeBron. Would you look at it for free?
I probably would check it out for free. You know, at least I can at least help her with the views. I don't know about the subscription. I can
Would
get the
you,
algorithm up with the views.
EJ? Would you get with someone that had an OnlyFans if they could target just a specific country, like they target it outside the United States, to where it's
Mm-mm.
only accessible from like IP addresses in Europe?
Nah. Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Yeah, I
Can't
got
do it.
stipulations. Like, yo, nah. Would you get with a cam girl?
Same thing.
The same, yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing.
No, no, it's different.
It's
But
same thing.
I'm with you. Um,
I mean, I
okay.
just wouldn't care. I mean, money's rolling in. I mean, look at us living our best life.
See, and that's that pimpery.
It's not, I mean, it's not like I'm gonna be like, I'm quitting my job now. Like she's killing it. Like
You
I'm
might as
still gonna
well.
do.
The money that
You
they
know,
pulling in.
I think the extent that I would accept would be up to like nudity with no like sexual, like you're not on there banging yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's just like pictures of your tits and shit, like I might I might accept that, but still no face, no case. Like
So what happens, Steve, if you let the lady you with is on OnlyFans and your boy pulls up and like, yo, look at the titties on this one. Like,
no face, no case. You gotta act like you don't know.
You're like,
what?
whoa, check
Like
those out.
damn, no tattoos, no face, no case. You don't know who it is.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I would.
You ain't smashing.
Yeah, I wouldn't care. Because I mean, you know, like you see, like there's this one chick that I see who she be doing shit where like
That's because you a
dudes be
swinger. You a low key swinger.
dudes be paying her to like go to like Target and walk around and then send them the underwear she was wearing or whatever. She like
Oh yeah,
vacuum seals them shit. You know what I mean? Like
I'm with that.
yeah,
I'm with that.
like that's
Yellow, wow.
bread, yo. You know?
Yo, it's some weirdos in this world, yo.
You know what I mean?
Some
Like
weirdos.
the fellas come over and be like, yo, man, sit down, let's watch the game. I got the fucking NFL package, I got the red zone package, I got the field goal post package, you know, got it all now, dog.
Yeah,
You
it's
know, we doing it
it's
over here.
pimpery. You talking about splurging off the exploitations of your partner.
No, I'm
It's
talking about
pimpery at its
splurging
finest.
off the income that my partner brings into our household.
Mm, 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 mm.
Like, what's like? Think about it this way, right? What's the difference if your significant other made 6 figures at a 9 to 5, 40 hour, 60 hour job
We talking high
versus making
sixes?
6 figure at OnlyFans? And you're still
Well, her
using that
boss
money
don't got
to
to see her tits.
you're
That's
still using that money to like. But I'm saying,
exactly.
like to EJ's point, is he's saying it's exploiting because you're splurging on stuff. Your wife that or your
Oh, I got
girl,
you.
whoever who's making a 9 to 5, you're still using that money she makes. So are you exploiting her?
No, but to Steve's point, she's not at the job showing her tits.
But she don't got to be at the job showing her tits. There are chicks who have OnlyFans and regular jobs.
No, but on the OnlyFans job, she's showing her tits. What do you
Oh,
mean?
okay, my God. I thought you meant like at the job.
No, 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 no. That's the difference. That's the difference.
What?
It's like saying, okay, it's like saying I'm a drug dealer, right? I sell drugs, I'm getting money, but you know what I have to do to get that money. I don't agree with what you're doing to get that bread.
I got you.
What's the limit of overage you would like for your partner to make more than you, like salary wise?
Mm,
No limit.
Well, I don't care. I mean, I'm not. I don't care who makes more.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. See, it don't. For me, it don't be the. See, those conversations are always funny to me because I feel like as men, there are men egotistically. We're gonna be like they want to be the breadwinner because they want to feel like they're the decision maker. But I know more times than none, it's the women that's throwing that shit in motherfuckers' face. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
I make this motherfucker. I wear the pants. You better lower your motherfucking voice in here. That's when
Hmm.
it becomes a problem.
That's
You know,
that's what happened with Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer was like, "Hey, hey,
I got hey,
you want
you
me to
want
make that car payment?"
you want your Wi-Fi on, bitch.
Right.
you want this
Exactly. You
PS5,
right? Do you not want to be able to get on Twitter?
Yeah.
right?
I mean, when they like I said, I wouldn't be cool with it. Like with bringing in other performers. Like if it was some girl on girl shit, I wouldn't care. You know, but like it's not gonna be any dudes. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I look at this shit. I'm kind of like your boy Pusha T, in that song he got where he's like where there's demand, someone will supply. So I feed them their needs at the same time. Cry.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it irks me to see the needless, all of them lost souls, and I'm near Jesus.
This guy.
I
Yeah,
hate.
this
I
guy.
hate. I hate him. You just need to just. You should stick to jazz.
This guy.
Um, man. All right. What else? That's it.
Yeah.
NBA. NBA. I don't even get. I still don't get the play in VP EJ.
The
Not the playing
tournament
the,
So
the
are they
tournament.
saying that's how the
in
playoffs are going to
season.
be determined?
No,
No,
Oh, then
Adam
I don't care
Silver
about
is trying to. He's basically taking a model from what major. I don't know if it's Major League Soccer
World Cup.
or
World
the
Cup.
World Cup. They have
World
like a
Cup. CONCACAF.
they have like a tournament within the season or whatever, and it doesn't like make anything. It's not anything to do with seeding in
Playoff
the
season.
playoffs or anything. It has no impacts on the postseason.
Oh, just
It's
something else
just
for us to fucking bet on and lose money. That's
right.
all this is.
So they even said like the stats from this shit isn't even going to count or whatever. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you may have like, oh, so and so got a quadruple double. Like the shit don't even, it don't matter. So it's just one of these in game things to more eyeballs, more shit to
Season.
bet on, more money.
Yeah, in
Got you.
season things. Yeah, it's just something that the NBA is trying. They literally said they want to try to compete with the NFL during the
Do you,
prime time of NFL, which
do
is
you
not
think
going
it?
to happen.
Do you think that in season stuff it will cause focus issues for players?
I don't think it's going to cause focus issues, but like I mean, we've said this multiple times and we've been wrong because I remember during COVID, we were like, wait till a
I'm never
big name player gets sick. Watch what happened. And then when big name players got sick, nothing happened. So I was like, oh, I guess fuck it, you know? And so I was going to say, it's probably going to be a thing until like, Giannis gets hurt in one of these bullshit tournament games. And then they say, oh, we got to shut this shit down, you know? But they're
wait.
not going to do that.
These tournament games are aside from their regular games.
Yeah, so
It's
it's like
it's
the
a part
season's
of the
gonna start.
82.
The
It's a part
season's
of the
gonna,
82,
yeah,
Okay, I thought it was. I
but
thought
and
they were
the
going
the
to
team,
take stats from just
and
the games that they're already playing.
but
they
the team
also
that
get
makes the championship of it, I think they end up playing two extra games. So the two extra games that the championship game causes, those won't count towards the stats.
yeah, they also get incentivized. It's like 500. It's like 500,000. I can't remember the
If they
incentives,
win,
but yeah, it's some incentives, and I think part of it in that sense is to help combat the load management part, the incentive payment incentives. I think they're trying to combat the load management part of the season. Like, hey, in the heart of the season, play your guys, kind of thing.
yeah, but 500,000 is a drop in a bucket for the guys that we want to see anybody. Anyway, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
True.
500,000 is a lot for, and even think about the contracts that were just put out to some of these guys that are not, top guys in the league. So they got to do
But it
better than that. Adam
Yeah,
Silver,
but it also, I mean, it also tries to bolster the competition, because you got guys that are going to be trying to get out there and get that money. You know what I mean? So he's basically trying to make the NBA more attractive in the time where the NFL is heating up the most, because it starts around November. So
got you.
I mean, it's late
You
in
can
our
never.
season.
The NBA, no anything will ever be able to compete with the NFL.
They
No,
just they're not gonna be able to do it.
The NFL, especially think about it. NFL is supply and demand, and you know what? We might take some of that back a little bit because now they're spreading games to Mondays. They're considering Tuesdays. They're considering Thursdays. Well, they have Thursdays. Considering Fridays. Like
yeah,
the
Friday
only
this
thing with
year.
the only yeah. So now that it's not going to be, you only get this crack fix on Sundays and Mondays, and a little sprinkle on Thursday. Now you're going to get it more often. I wonder if the NFL demand is going to go down a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people still love it. You still got the fantasy aspect to it. I just don't know if it's going to be as exclusive. Like, its exclusivity is going to go down because they're spreading it more.
Long as they only play 17, 16, 17 games a year,
True.
it's always gonna be like that, because when you got 82 and you got 100, whatever it is, you like, all right, I catch him in October, I catch him
Right.
in
162.
November.
And
Yeah,
then also a lot of us, like unlike you, Steve, since you're a Magic fan and you live in Orlando, you can watch every game all year. Like me as a Heat fan, I only get to see us every now and then. So
I like your
I
fan.
usually don't like watching other teams. So like if I'm out with people, yeah, we can watch. You know what I mean? But I don't usually sit down and be like, yo, let me check out this Lakers game. You know. So that aspect of it too, I think will hurt them because like for me, I'm gonna watch the Dolphins. I'll watch the next game after the Dolphins and stuff like that because it's only a handful of NFL games on TV and it's only lasting, for 17 weeks.
yep.
Whereas the NBA, there's, like 30 games a week on or whatever. Like,
Weeks
you
upon
get bored of
weeks
that shit
upon
real,
weeks.
real fast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the sports betting that keeps me engaged in a lot of this stuff, like the basketball, the baseball. Like I check baseball every single day because there's games every single day, and I do fantasy, a daily fantasy every single day, even if it's just a couple dollars here or there. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, so I think with that, it kind of makes it more relevant. Um,
Yeah.
NFL's coming. Fantasy football is coming. I'll probably renew our league today, and see who's coming back and who's not. We know we lost one, but
We
Who we
did.
lose?
Emilio,
Really? Already?
Why you quitting?
Not
huh?
me, fool.
Why you quitting?
Not me, fool.
Oh, okay.
The other
Yeah,
one.
figured you had enough.
Nah, the other one. No, the one that
I mean,
they
I
actually.
didn't see that he wasn't long for this world because I remember at the draft, he made his first pick, and I literally put in the chat like, he know we play for money,
Mhm.
like, because I don't know what he doing, yo.
You say he wasn't about this life. He wasn't
No,
ready. He
no.
wasn't built for
No,
it. Tough.
this is a I would have to say that our league has gotten highly knowledgeable in that space when it comes to fantasy football. Like I play in other leagues and I compare the conversations and the drafts and the moves that we make versus some of the other leagues. Like there was a league last year that I ended up winning that I was almost out of the damn playoffs. I ended up winning it just by being able to pick up the right guys because nobody else touched them in that league. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, in our league we got it takes you know a high football and fantasy football IQ because knowing football doesn't make you good at fantasy football. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You,
Like,
you know what killed me last year, or the last 3 years, haven't been in the jail. I didn't have access
mhm,
to my phone, so
mhm.
a
I
lot
thought you
of
were gonna
shit.
say something else.
Nah, a lot of shit I couldn't like. By the time I got out, like niggas been hurt, motherfuckers been picked up. It's like, god damn, I don't
what
know what's going on.
what round you think EJ's taking Aaron Rodgers in?
Probably three,
Nah,
two, maybe
you
three.
know I don't pick my own quarterbacks, so that's.
Shit, I
I mean,
did.
granted, I haven't had one good to fucking pick for the Jets
I usually don't either, but man,
ever.
last year when Tua was playing, he did work.
I used to be able to exploit and pick my quarterback late, but now everybody's kind of picked up my trend and found out the value in doing
I
that.
got that from you. I can't lie. I definitely augmented that shit into my own draft strategy.
Well, I mean, it all to me, it all depends on who I'm taking. Like, if Pat Mahomes is there, I'm taking him.
Yeah, it's a little different. That's
Right.
different.
Yeah,
It depends on the spot. But
But
yeah,
in our
shit.
league, because
I've
our
had
league is a
shitty
keeper league,
quarterbacks for the last I don't know how many years.
yeah,
Except I
because
get Brady or Rogers at like late, but
yeah, since we're a keeper league, it's kind of like like Mahomes ain't gonna be there. It's very likely, like Josh Allen ain't gonna be there. So it's like, fuck it, if they're not on the board, like let me get another skill player
hmm
for depth.
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Fantasy's
I
gotten
think
to a point where you got to know what's going on too, because there's so much content out there because everyone's trying to monetize it. So you got all the shows, like every station has a fantasy show now. Before you only had it used to only be ESPN2 with fantasy football now, but now everyone has one. Fox Sports has one, fucking NBC, everyone has one now. And
And
so
this year is going to be different too because, like, even like for those of us who are like watching camp, they changed the rule this year for the roster
quarterbacks.
where
Yeah.
well, not even just quarterbacks, but like before they bring, I think it's 91 to camp, and then they
Hmm.
cut each week, or once preseason start, they cut each week until they get down to the 53-man roster. Now the NFL changed the rules where they bring 91 to camp, and they basically just do a cut from 91 to 53 at the end of camp. So
But I
now
mean,
it's like,
that
yeah,
shit don't impact fantasy really, because you ain't
well,
looking at
no,
the guys that's getting cut.
but no, but what I mean is that, like, you may have a guy who you've been kind of watching, and you're like,
Hmm.
man, this dude might make the roster. Let me keep my eye on him. And then they cut him, and then you got to see if he gets picked up on waivers by somebody else. And all, you know what I mean? So it ain't gonna be like before, where you like, yo, they cut this dude second week of camp. He looked nice that one day, but I guess he's trash because they cut him already. You know what I
right,
mean? You have these people rocking all the way through camp.
Yeah, I
true.
guess.
We'll
I
see.
guess.
We'll see. It'll be an interesting year, I'm sure. Drafts will be
Yeah.
different because players will be in different places. Some teams are without quarterbacks. Some teams now have quarterbacks. The Jets.
Mhm.
Um,
I gotta see where I took Brees. Did I take Brees Hall last year, or just somebody else? I don't
No,
remember.
I know one thing that ain't gonna be different. Me in the playoffs. And that shit is just.
You mean like where you don't where you don't win in the playoffs, or
Yo, yo, I got screwed this year. I should have been in the championship game. That fucking DeMar Hamlin shit fucked up my Stephon Diggs numbers.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
if that shit don't happen, I'm in the championship game.
yeah. I'm just glad I'm not in the jail anymore, so I can actually in real time see what's happening. Like I'm telling you, I get out 5 o'clock and like it's 1,000 messages, mad waiver moves, niggas hurt. Like fuck, I didn't know. Like you know what I mean?
I be
yeah,
So
getting
yeah,
fucked up on the waiver because it's like there'll be somebody I want, and I'm like, I know somebody like Eric is gonna pay $50 for this dude, and I'm not, So I try to put a competitive bid in, but that's shit that kills me on the waivers.
mhm.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because of all the content, it makes it a little more different with the waivers. Like before, you could almost I could almost bet that I was going to be able to get the third or fourth guy, But now because Yahoo does updates, and if you just turn your TV on, they got the fantasy minute. Well, who's your pickups for the week? Like fuck, now everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah,
But it's all good. It's all good. I look forward to it, man. Football season is right across the horizon. If you look far enough, you can see it
yeah.
poking its little head out. Pause.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
us, I think rookies for us report tomorrow, and then, or I think either tomorrow or later this week or something like that, and then a couple days later the vets report. So
Jets got hard knocks. EJ, how you feel about that?
Initially, I didn't want Hard Knocks to be there. Also, because I was really enjoying what the Jets were doing themselves as a production team because they were giving their own content.
Hmm.
Um, and I think personality wise, Robert Sala, I think probably was the most against it because he seems like a private dude. But whereas when we had Rex embraced that shit like he didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it is what it is. At this point, I think last time we had it, we had success. So I think that's just all about how they got to look at it.
yeah, I think the NFL needs to they need to not necessarily come up with a schedule, but just kind of make it a thing where it's like, we're gonna have, one bad team, one good, like rotate bad team, good team,
Yeah, it's a stupid
and then just,
formula right now.
yeah, just kind of go down the list or whatever, because you've had, I think the Cowboys have been on like twice, if I remember correctly, like, because I think the first time they ever did it was Cowboys, and then
Yep.
they were on like 2 years ago. Dolphins were on once. The Jets, this is going to be their second time. You had the Colts on that one time. You know what I mean? So just kind of rotate it, where you take let's do the Titans and then do the Chiefs.
You know what they
Do
should do?
Houston, do the Jets or whatever.
Whoever
Yeah.
stadium the Super Bowl's in, just put them on hard knocks.
That's not going to work because they only rotate the Super Bowl through
That's true.
Miami,
Never goes to cold.
Tampa. Yeah, it's not going to be like in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Don't
Um. All
you
right.
know?
Don't you know? All right. Football's coming. Um, I think that's it, man. We are over the 2 hour mark. So I will hand it off to EJ. This is enough content to sort through and try to find some some stuff for us to get canceled over. EJ, it's up to you. Or I'm sorry, VP, it's up to you. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought he was taking the reins. I was about to log out.
Nope.
EJ don't
Nope.
like to do that. EJ don't like the outros.
Nah,
Yeah.
definitely don't.
Hey, everybody, as always, man, you guys make that phone call, reach out to your people, let them know you're thinking about them, send that text message, make a phone call. Pretty sure they're going to appreciate it. You never know how somebody's doing in their own life, what's going on in their head. So just reach out to folks, let them know you're thinking about them. Pretty sure they'll appreciate it and you'll appreciate it as well. We want to thank everybody who joined us this Sunday morning/afternoon for this week's episode of the Castworthy podcast. We definitely appreciate you guys taking that time out of your day. For the folks who will listen once this episode posts, we appreciate you taking that time as well. You can find the podcast on all podcasting platforms by searching at Castworthy. You can also follow us on any of our social media by searching at Castworthy. On Instagram, it's at Castworthy_podcast. While you're there, you can leave us a like, you can comment, subscribe, follow, share, tell a friend to tell a friend. We would very much appreciate it. You help us grow the audience. And with that being said, oh, sorry, one other thing. For the folks who actually I already said that, I can't think today. So I was gonna say for the folks who joined us live, like I just said that. So, but yeah, thank you again. Anyway, we appreciate you guys taking that time.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, though, man, we will see you guys on the next episode of the Castworthy podcast. We're out. We love you. Peace.